Hey, this is Jerry Strauss, host of Hollywood Happy Place. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Hi, this is Baxter Colburn, host of the Verse of the Day podcast here on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Verse of the Day, where we take a look at real-world experiences and applications to one Bible verse every Monday through Friday as we get an idea of what it looks like to be a little bit better of a Christian and how we can make this world a better place, one verse at a time. I hope you'll join me every single Monday through Friday right here on Public House Media. And I hope you'll subscribe by going to Apple Podcasts or wherever you find good podcasts as well. Once again, thanks for tuning in to the following broadcast here on Public House Media.
Last time on the Gregg and Dave Show.
Girl, shake that did putter. That did putter. Shake that did putter.
It's time for the Gregg and Dave Show.
Give it a proper name and we'll work it. Give it a stupid name and it can stay at the shipyard.
Featuring Greg Snyder
We were just talking about spam.
and David Bobkey.
We all applaud Sweden for sticking with bringing McTrain face.
Bravely bringing you the stories of the strange.
I'm thinking of changing my name after all these stories to Greggy McGregface.
I want to make sure I'm dating the right guy.
Now sit back and enjoy the show.
That is my least favorite thing to do.
Hello and welcome to another fine episode of the Gregg and Dave Show right here on Public House Media. I am one of your hosts, the Greg.
Oh my gosh, I'm so totally Dave's show then, because if you're the Greg, I can't be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And we want to thank you for listening to us wherever you listen to good podcasts. iTunes, Stitcher, Amazon, Party Central.
There's like so many places that you can listen to podcasts now. It's so crazy. I was at the mall with Debbie the other day, and we were just talking about all the podcasts that are out there. And why am I talking like this? I'm annoying myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, coming up on the Gregg and Dave Show, we're going to see how long Dave Show could keep this Valley Girl accent going on.
Oh my gosh, I could totally keep it up the whole show if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
And we would lose all three of our listeners. But nonetheless.
Dave, what website hosts us, and what website can people go to for all sorts of great content?
Oh, do you mean
the week?
thefmedia.com?
Yes, that's not to be confused with a. I know that there's a food called pho. Or how's it pronounced?
Pho?
Pho?
Flan?
Pho?
Flan.
Flan.
Potato chips.
What?
That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten to like 2 minutes in the show, and we're already talking about phlegm. Anyway, yeah, you can find us there, and we want to thank them for hosting us. Again, thephmedia.com. A lot of great podcasts available there. Hey, Dave Show, we've got a lot of great stories coming up on today's show. If by great, we mean
bizarre, as is our usual. That's where we get all the weird stuff. You know, Sam Kirby and Jerry Strauss and those guys, they get the Hollywood stuff, and they're on the cutting edge of what's going on there. And you got the nerdy news with like beauties and headcanons, and you got the pageant talk with table talk. We're just weird.
Right.
We're the guys who are sitting there in the back of the lunchroom reading the newspaper, playing. I feel like we wouldn't be playing D&D. I feel like we'd have something else going on. Some obscure Japanese card game, probably.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So
played by
yes.
Parrots.
And there's our segue. I was going to ask Mrs. Bale to insert a segue for us. Thankfully, you have bailed me out. We have an article here to start the show from Patch.com, and this is from Orlando, Florida. The Greg.
Orlando.
And the title here is Smart Parrot uses Amazon Alexa to turn lights on and off. We talked about a parrot last week, and you mentioned your budgie Vision.
Yes.
Who I should have asked, did you end up getting rid of the budgie, or did it mysteriously disappear under very bizarre circumstances?
You know, I'm not sure if it took its own life via natural causes, or if, like many of the pets in the Snyder family, might have gotten flushed down an air duct, or we have bad experience with pets in the Snyder family, as I mentioned on the show before. So not really sure what happened with Vision. Although, if I can mention, I renamed, this is my claim to fame, I renamed my budgie Vision. My Aunt Mary gave it to me for a Christmas present. And shout out to Aunt Mary, by the way, if you're listening. And she said that its name should be Joseph. But this was truly not a Joseph budgie. This budgie was meant to be named Vision, and Vision it was.
I see. Well, we have here a parrot not named Vision or Joseph, but named Petra, which of course is
also the name of an 80s Christian rock band, by the way.
We'll see if there's any relation in the story here. It's again from Orlando, Florida. Congo African gray parrots are freaky smart. Not freaky fast like Jimmy John's, but freaky smart. But Petra, a bird in Florida, is tech savvy as well. Petra uses Amazon's Alexa to turn lights on and off and ask about current weather conditions, and it just never stops, the bird's owner says. Petra was already a star on YouTube, where she chats up a storm in exchange for peanuts, but her mastery of Alexa has delighted internet users. The 4-year-old parrot started talking earlier than most in her species and already knows 300 words. Wow. Now, I think the parrot we mentioned last week knew how to bark like a dog,
right,
but didn't say anything about actually speaking words. So
right.
I think this parrot I already prefer.
I can't imagine that would get you far with Alexa, by the way, barking like a dog. I don't know. Alexa's pretty smart, but I'm not sure if it understands dog barks.
I guess maybe if you program Alexa to have a certain response to dog barks, maybe it would do something. I don't know. Obviously, I don't have an Alexa. I have Mrs. Bale.
Right.
For about a half hour a week. And she doesn't do anything I tell her. Probably because she doesn't have to. She just shakes her head disapprovingly at me.
So does this story fall into the category of, is your technology smarter than you are, Dave Show?
Staring at me with those cold, dead eyes. Oh, the parrot, yes. It's sorry, yes, distracted. It does say Petra is learning how to control Google Home devices, and she's using her own smarts to prompt conversations between artificial intelligence devices. So the parrot definitely seems to be outpacing the technology on here, if you ask me.
Right.
And Petra's owner said, now she has them talking to each other. The owner, who has not been identified, I find that a bit odd. We don't know who this person is, even though television station WOFL has spoken to them. And the woman said, so it's a woman apparently, I know what the weather report is all day long.
Well, isn't that nice to know? She knows what the weather report is, even when she doesn't want to know what the weather report is. Oh, and the parrot can turn lights on and off too, correct?
Yes, indeed. So yeah, lights on and off all day, weather report coming in constantly. I don't know if this parrot thinks it's breaking new ground, but I think there's the weather band radio where you can get the weather. And basically you can learn to clap and turn lights on and off. So I don't know. But I guess for a parrot, this is pretty good. This is a 2-in-1 parrot, if you will.
This parrot reminds me of a really naughty 2-year-old or 3-year-old child. And believe me, I have had a nephew who's 2 or 3-year-old. Mom's like, no, leave the lights on. He turns them off. No, leave them on. Turn them off. No, leave the lights on.
Yep, 2-year-olds always think they know better. Just like Mrs. Bale.
And parrots, apparently.
Staring at me. Wondering what I'm going to...
Speaking of the change of pace of technology, Dave Show, I don't know. Is there a point where librarians will never exist?
Gosh, I hope not. We've already seen some great things in the library go, if I may, the way of the dinosaur. My dear mother, who works in a library, might not care for me phrasing it that way, but we've already seen certain things go away. Card catalogs becoming a thing of the past. We've seen microfiche go away. And by the way, score yourself 3 Gregg and Dave Show points if you know what microfiche is.
Right.
Yes, we have a story from SeattlePie.com. That's P-I, not P-I-E. And this is a story which is a little more of just an interesting sort of here's some trivia you didn't know, now you know it. You know this piece of information instead of something that might actually be valuable to you.
Right.
This is the sort of thing you're going to hear, you're going to remember these bits of information, and you're going to forget how to do calculus because your brain just can't hold all of this information. This story is titled Bacon, Cheese, and Condoms, What Librarians Find in Returned Books.
Interesting headline already. I'm intrigued.
Lack of the Oxford comma there, which I don't care for, but nonetheless. When a Washington librarian made a polite request for patrons to cease using cheese as a bookmark in her library's books, librarians across the Twitterverse chimed in with their tales of strange library book finds. And they have a May 1st tweet from a lady named Anna Holmes. That's at Anna Holmes, WRIT number 1. Was reportedly triggered by the discovery of a Kraft Singles slice. Side note, delicious. Which to some librarians was a tame deposit. And this was apparently noticed by the people at NPR's news quiz show Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. And host Peter Siegel posed a question about it to Luke Burbank on the show. So, yeah. And they have a little slideshow here of what people have found in their library books.
You know, there's a book actually called Who Moved My Cheese? Wouldn't it be funny, I'm just thinking here, if the cheesy bookmark was in that book?
Indeed it would.
Props to whoever wrote that, by the way. That got me through, I was at a job and a lot of cheese was being moved. We'll just leave it at that. And it got me through a really, really tough time at the job.
Well, we have here, just clicking through the images that they have on the story here, there's a lot of food items. We mentioned the cheese, cooked bacon, which I just find unforgivable.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not eat that? I mean, even if you want to say, hey, librarian, I appreciate what you do, please accept this gift of bacon.
Well, and who wants to find this stuff a month later?
Yeah. I mean, it might take them a little while to get around to it.
Right.
A non-fried chicken leg, which again, just why? A non-food item here, a circular saw blade. Which I'm kind of interested. I guess, is that where you leave it? I mean, I guess if you don't have a workbench, where else are you going to put it? But
right,
seems odd.
Right.
We've got.
By the way, we should mention, Dave Show, that you're in the process of getting sawed off as we speak. So if people hear a saw going, yes, Dave Show may no longer exist after this show.
Yes, there is work going on here at the Gregg and Dave Show studios, as there always is for some reason or another. So,
right.
So yeah, if I just go silent for some reason, something probably fell on me. So just carry on. It'll be the Gregg and Mrs. Bale going forward. Again, looking through the images here, several reports of banana peels, broccoli. I don't get these, like a gnawed chicken bone, broccoli. How do you return books with these things actually in the book?
You don't check them before you return them?
But the book doesn't close nicely.
How do you miss that? How do you miss a piece of broccoli or a chicken leg in a book?
I mean, this one, it's just considering, like, okay, a gnawed chicken bone or something like that would hold the book open. Like, you should notice that. This one, at least, I can understand. Multiple claims of human hair clumps. Like, okay, you had a fight with the book, it pulled some hair out, what else is it going to do? I feel like I can understand that.
Right. You know what I'm seeing here? I'm seeing a fictional book being written of the stuff that is found in the library bookshelves. I'm seeing this written by some librarian as like a really awesome children's book.
Yeah, that's
like what I found in the library, although it'd have a more classy title than that.
Sure, and it probably wouldn't have any human teeth in it, which apparently somebody has found.
Right.
And most of the other things here I can kind of understand, like, okay, written checks, bills, things of that nature. Fair enough. Interesting things that get left there. And if any of our listeners want, if they enjoy lists like this, I will say, as a bit of a note on this, it does get a little raunchier, but there are lists that come out every year of things that happen, or reports that come in from emergency rooms.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Of things that people got stuck in their nose, in their ear, let's just say other places as well. And I'll leave it at that. But if that sounds like something you'd be interested in checking out, a little bit of Google search, and I'm sure you can pull that up in no time.
Speaking of that, I have to remove something from my ear. Dave Show, you might have to remove something too. You've got a little something there in your ear. I can see it.
I've got Mrs. Bale's earpiece in here. And
Right. Let's take a commercial break so we can work all that out.
I got to get that stupid
We'll
thing
be
that
back.
ended last week's show out of my ear, too. Can't stop thinking about it.
You're listening to The Gregg and Dave Show.
We're going to serve it with braised onions and mushrooms.
Hey, it's Baxter Colburn here from Public House Media. Did you know that we just added a store here at Public House Media? No, I'm not talking about a grocery store where you can go buy apples or bananas or peanut butter, which are all fantastic, especially when peanut butter's on all of those. Anyway, we've added a store here at Public House Media so you can not only come and represent your favorite podcast network, but also represent your favorite shows as well, too. Just go over to thepHmedia.com and look in the top right corner where you'll see the button that says Store. Click on that and you can search through all of our great products. Or if you go to our Facebook page, Public House Media, you can see on the left-hand side a tab that says Store. All of our products are listed there as well too. It's the new Public House Media Store. You don't want to miss it. It is fantastic. Buy some of that great swag to support your favorite shows and to support Public House Media. Check it out today.
You're listening to The Gregg and Dave Show.
Which one are you?
I'm the ugly, disgusting one who catches cannonballs.
Ah, you.
And we're back on the Gregg and Dave Show. Hey, the name of our show has never changed. Much like our Facebook page, you can visit us at The Gregg and Dave Show on Facebook. Gregg is spelled with 2 G's at the end because my parents are weird. Gregg. Dave is spelled like Dave.
Dave is spelled like Dave. And yes, the exact address again, facebook.com/Gregg Dave Show. I think it's Greg.
We want to thank you for downloading our podcast. Remember to subscribe and share.
Yes.
But, Dave Show, we're not done.
We are not.
And our name has not changed, unlike the people in this next story.
No, and you know, it's important. We mentioned the Facebook page. We always mention Greg has 3 G's in it because we don't want people to misspell your name.
Right.
And we have a story here, and I have a couple sources. We have WLXR.com and also news.com.au, so I believe that is Australian. Shout out to those down under. Story is a story that comes from love. Comes from a nice, well-meaning place, I'm sure. There's a mother, as many people are, and she has 2 kids, as many do. And she decided she would like to get a tattoo. You already see, listeners, where this is going. She's going to get a tattoo of her 2 kids' names on her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough.
What could go wrong, right?
What could possibly go wrong? Well, naturally, the tattoo artist misspelled one of the kids' names. The one time you'd hope never to encounter a spelling mistake is when you're getting your child's name etched on your person. Tattoos, like children, are for life. Well, I think you can technically get it removed now.
Right.
It's a little pricey, but there you go. Unfortunately, one Swedish mother fell victim to an embarrassing typo after her tattooist misspelled her son Kevin's name as Kelvin.
Kelvin.
And again,
did he hear it wrong?
I don't know. I mean, the name's Kevin. It's a fairly simple, routine name. I'm guessing even in Sweden, this would be a fairly standard name. Nonetheless, Kelvin is tattooed on the mother's arm. Rather than let it get her down and face an expensive, painful removal process, which right there, okay, I'm going to call a 30-second timeout here. Just said tattoos are for life, and then 2 paragraphs later talking about the removal process.
Right.
Bro, what you doing to me here? Anyway, I say that because I have a degree in English. It's very upsetting to me.
Yes, you do.
I want everyone to understand. I have a deep personal love of the Oxford comma, so anytime it's not used, it hurts me. It hurts me deep in my soul.
Yeah. Do you know what I have a deep and personal love for, Dave Show?
Me interrupting the story with my own personal rants?
No, not tattoos.
Facing an expensive, painful removal process. 30-year-old Joanna Gilsall Sandström had an ingenious solution. I'm going to say that's questionable, but we'll go ahead with it.
Okay.
She had her son's name legally changed. So, she wanted to get the tattoo. She goes out, she gets the tattoo. Says her heart stopped when she saw the error. She thought she was going to faint, the Gregg.
A lot of people faint. I hate to break it to her, but a lot of people faint at the thought of getting a tattoo anyway.
That's true.
I had a friend who once fainted in the chair or partially fainted while she was trying to get a tattoo. Anyway.
Well, now you got me curious. Which part of her fainted? Well, anyway, never mind.
It was a faint memory.
There we go. There's the drums. Mrs. Bale at the drums. Thank you, Mrs. Bale. She said, I wanted the names of my children tattooed on me, and I gave the artist their names. The artist drew the design and didn't ask anything about the spelling, so I didn't give it any more thought. It wasn't until later she noticed the glaring mistake. She returned to the artist, who laughed and said there wasn't anything he could do apart from issue a refund. Which, yeah, I can't really imagine what else he could do, really.
Right.
After looking at tattoo removal, she and her husband came to the decision that the smarter option would be to rename the boy, who was aged almost 2 at the time. So there's my question. Is 2 years old too late to be renaming your child, even if it's just from Kevin to Kelvin, or do you think that's fair enough?
I don't know. I see, I'm asking a different question in my mind right now. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if there's anything that I would ever want tattooed on me.
Yeah.
Like anything ever.
Yeah, admittedly, I'm not really a tattoo person myself. I thought if I ever did get a tattoo, I would go the George Carlin route and like get dotted lines everywhere that I bend and put label things tab A, slot B. Yeah. I thought that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Or get a life-size tattoo of myself, but taller.
Okay. Wait, is that a thing? Can you do that?
Nope.
Oh.
But by golly, if somebody actually could, I'd watch that. I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah.
So 2 years old.
2 years old.
Being renamed Kevin to Kelvin. They have grown to love Kelvin, it says here, these two parents, which is good because that's their kid.
Right.
She explained that no one else has her son's name, and luckily her young son has taken well to his new moniker. The family has just welcomed, by the way, their third child, and she is looking to undergo the needle once more. She will be better prepared, and will make sure that this child's name is spelled correctly.
For goodness sakes. Now, I'm just going to say something here. I am not against tattoos at all. But know what you're getting yourself into. Think to yourself, when I'm 85, will I still want this tattoo on my body?
When you're 64, will you still want that tattoo of Starland Vocal Band on your arm? And I would dare say, probably not. That, by the way, a random Simpsons reference for our buddy Keith Haney from Coffee with Keith and Katie, right here on Public House Media.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Apparently, Keith is into the random Simpsons references. So, there we are.
Dave Show, guess what? You get to end the show today.
I get to... Well, wait a minute. Does that mean, Greg, that it's almost the end of the show?
It does mean that it's almost the end of the show.
If only we had a drop for that. You've been listening to the Gregg and Dave Show, which makes sense because, well, that's what you wanted for some reason I can't fathom, but good for you. We appreciate it. The Gregg is available if you want to speak to him. He's available on Facebook. You can just send him a message on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Gregg Dave Show. And just say, hey, the Gregg, I was wondering, and then, whatever. Or if you just want to yell at him, you can do that too. But are you available anywhere else, the Gregg? You're not on the Twitter, are you?
I am, and that will be announced soon.
Ooh.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
There's a cliffhanger.
Yes, there's a cliffhanger. Yes, or you can just always throw stuff at me too.
That works. I enjoy that.
If you're in my vicinity, you can throw stuff at me.
There you go. We have permission, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to reach me on Twitter for whatever reason, you can do that at twitter.com/thatsourbobbo. Unless I'm in a bad mood, then my Twitter handle changes to thatsourbobbo to reflect the mood that I'm in. So, nonetheless, you just try tweeting me at either one of those and see if it goes through.
Tweet me at blindfaith21, by the way.
Blindfaith21. There you go.
Yeah.
All of our past episodes can be found at bphmedia.com or on probably whatever other place you found this episode, I guess.
Wherever you found it, that's where it can be found.
Wherever we are, that's where it is. That's the most intelligent thing I've said on the show, I think. I'm very proud of myself. We should probably wrap this up.
Yes. I am the Gregg.
And I am the Gregg. Oh, dang it, I blew it already. I'm Dave Show. I'm gonna go out on top. I'm gonna go out with the smart thing. This is Bale. Can you just edit my name in there? And then cut this part out?
You've been listening to The Gregg and Dave Show. The Gregg and Dave Show theme is Take a Chance by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com.